Hi everyone, it's Sarah DeRise from Keller Williams Realty, here to talk about the NAR Settlement lawsuit that's coming up. Changes are afoot, and if you pay attention to real estate news at all, you will have heard about the lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors. The settlement agreement for the suit is scheduled to take effect on August 17th, and it's important for both buyers and sellers alike to know what to expect. So let's start with a little background. The lawsuit stemmed from issues with transparency regarding agency and compensation. New York is a legal state, meaning attorneys are involved in all of our transactions and in our buyer and seller agreements. It has always been clearly outlined how an agent is paid for their services, but this is not the case in all states. Lack of education and information is where this whole thing started. So what exactly is agency? Agency is the relationship between the client and the agent or brokerage. It's a legal and fiduciary representation of the client's interests. Essentially, your agent should be getting you the best deal and the best terms possible, period, no matter what. With regards to compensation, the traditional model has been for a seller to agree with their agent at a certain percentage of the final sale price as their compensation. Part of this compensation would be given to the agent who brings the buyer. All of this happens at the closing and is paid by the seller from the proceeds of the sale. The so-called standard rate of commission is 6%, but this has always been negotiable. It's dependent on the situation of the seller, the level of service expected from the agent, and numerous other factors. For buyer's agents, we would just accept whatever was being offered by the seller, no matter the level of service or amount of time spent with the buyer. Buyers were very seldom expected to compensate their agents directly. So what is changing? For sellers, most sellers are asking if they are still required to pay the buyer's agents. The answer is no. It's not required, but it's likely in your best interest to offer a concession to cover this fee. Why? Buyers are often using everything they have to get into a home. Down payments and closing costs are a pretty penny, especially here in Westchester. And asking a buyer to come up with that additional fund to compensate their agent is going to be very difficult for many, if not most buyers. So offering a concession to pay the buyer's agent will open your property to the widest number of buyers. And the more people you market to, the more likely you are to get a good offer. On a home that costs $500,000, offering a 2 or 2.5% concession to a buyer's agent comes down to between $10,000 and $12,500. So are you willing to walk away from a great deal over $10,000? How is this going to play out? For sellers and agents, are no longer going to be able to put the concession offer in the listing. It will need to be communicated separately and will most likely become part of the offer and negotiation process. For a buyer, you'll need to sign a representation agreement with an agent before seeing any home in a private showing. This doesn't apply to open houses. The compensation is included in this agreement, and there are 3 ways it can be paid. The seller covers the full fee for the buyer's agent in the form of a concession. The seller covers part of that fee in a concession, or the buyer covers the full fee. Major lenders are changing policies to allow this cost to be included in financing in the same vein as other closing costs. So it's not necessarily coming directly from your bank account, but be prepared that this will be part of your closing costs going forward. These agreements can be exclusive, non-exclusive, and subject to a time frame, a single property or multiple properties, and it's all dependent on what you agree with your agent. The benefit of working with a buyer's agent is they're also working to get you the best price and the best terms. They get to know you and what you're looking for and can target your search as such, saving everyone time. You want someone looking out for your interests. If you were working with an attorney, you wouldn't want that same attorney handling the other side of the case, right? So why would you want the same agent handling both sides of a transaction? It all boils down to education and choice. Buyers and sellers will be better informed. The most important thing to remember is you have and have always had a choice to work with a certain agent or an agent at all, a choice in if and how much you pay that agent. However, it's important to understand the ramifications of those choices and how they may help or harm you throughout the buying and selling process. There will definitely be some growing pains as agents and clients navigate these new processes, but an agent who's been keeping informed and updated ahead of time will be ready to hit the ground running come August 17th when all of this goes into place. If you have any further questions, about how this is all going to play out or need some further clarification, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help break it down. Give me a call or send me an email. You can find my contact info on my website, www.sarahderise.com. Talk to you soon.